Tonight on Channel 6 News Weekend Edition, the fight is on to keep a Confederate statue in the area. Plus, protests erupt in St. Louis after an officer is acquitted on murder charges. And hundreds of Central Texans turn out to walk and find a cure for MS. Channel 6 News Weekend Edition starts right now.
Expect more. This is Channel 6 News Weekend.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Imani Payne. Chris Rogers has the night off. Protesters stormed the Bell County Courthouse today demanding a Confederate statue stay put after a local NAACP chapter called for its removal earlier this week. Channel 6 News reporter Andrew Moore spoke to people at the rally. He joins us now in studio with more. Andrew.
Amani, about a dozen people from around the area met at the Bell County Courthouse today calling for the statue of a Confederate soldier placed there to stay right where it is. David Thornton says he doesn't belong to any group in the area, but he put out a notice on Facebook calling for support, and several people showed up. All protesters I spoke with agree the country has done some disgraceful things in the past, and that includes allowing slavery. They say all soldiers who fought for the nation should be honored, Confederate or otherwise. A local NAACP leader has called the statue a symbol of hatred, but Bell County Judge John Burroughs has said the statue does not represent any single Confederate leader and simply honors Confederate soldiers from Bell County. And protesters say those soldiers deserve to be remembered.
We're all Americans, we all bleed red, and we need to unite together and accept that and keep the statues in place to teach our next generation of children.
This isn't about the war. This is about soldiers who served in combat, serving their country.
The statue has stood at the courthouse since 1916, and the county agreed to rediscuss the issue with concerned citizens at a later date, but we don't know right now when that is going to be. Amani?
All right, thanks, Andrew. Now to Lampasas, where no criminal charges will be filed against a sheriff's deputy who punched a man multiple times during a traffic stop. Now here's a look at the video of that altercation that took place back in May. According to an arrest affidavit, Deputy Logan Jones responded to a call of a reckless driver. He pulled over this car carrying 3 young teens. Things escalated when Jones tried to arrest the driver. The officer was placed on administrative leave while the Texas Rangers investigated. No word on if the Lampasas Sheriff's Office will review their use of force policy. Well, it's time now for our first check of the weather. Meteorologist Bill Hecky is standing by with a look at our forecast. Hey, Bill.
Hello there, Amani. We continue with kind of a summer-like pattern right now. In fact, it still is summer, and we've seen our temperatures now and skies summer-like. It's very pretty out. 93 at Waco. I think they topped 95 today, and we've had some southerly winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour. 91 Temple, and as we move through the night, just a gradual cool down and pretty open skies. We'll have more coming your way just a short while. Imani.
All right, thanks, Bill. A man is on the run tonight after robbing a Waco convenience store. It happened at the 7-Eleven on University Parks Drive around 2 this morning. Police say a black male wearing a blue ski mask entered the store and demanded money and a pack of cigarettes from the clerk. He also motioned like he had a gun in his pants but never showed it. Once he got the items, officers say the suspect ran away. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. People displaced by Hurricane Harvey in Port Arthur are being moved into tents. Emergency officials have put up around 250 tents in a parking lot. Each one can hold up to 14 people. Officials say men and women are being put in different tents while families are rooming together. The mayor says he expects more evacuees in the coming days.
Finally finding a balance after a couple of weeks, and we're happy that people are being safe and feel comfortable here.
He goes on to say the tents are temporary shelters where people can stay for about 30 days, but he says that could be extended. A business in Harker Heights held its annual customer appreciation party today, except this time it wasn't just a business ploy. The company and its customers are trying to help thousands of other Texans affected by Hurricane Harvey. Channel 6 News reporter Curtis Quillen is in Harker Heights to explain. Curtis.
Solar Centex, which you can see here behind me, holds a customer appreciation party every year. But this year, Scott Airy, the owner of the company, says it just didn't feel right to be celebrating and having a party while so many along the Texas Gulf Coast are left recovering from Hurricane Harvey. So he turned this year's event into a fundraiser. Returning customers walked through the doors today to talk about new solar energy technology and share their savings with other customers and with Airy. Many of them were excited when they found out today was also a fundraiser. So each customer who's walked through the door has written their energy savings up on a large sheet of paper. It's an easy way to help so many for some solar energy customers who came in to keep up with the trends and maybe eat a hot dog or a burger or two. Aries says that was the whole idea.
And what we said as a company is when people come in, tell us what they saved on their electric bills because they had solar, we'll sum that all together, and at the end of the day, we'll present a check to one of the community organizations that's done so much for the people of the Texas coast.
Now, Aries says Solar Centex will match their customer savings up to $10,000 to donate to Harvey Relief. Tonight at 10, we'll find out just how much Solar Centex was able to donate to Harvey Relief, and we'll hear from a customer who helped out today. In Harker Heights, Curtis Quillen, Channel 6 News.
A Killeen tow truck driver who was struck and killed while helping a vehicle on the side of the road is being honored by the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame and Museum in Tennessee. Scott Bull's name was placed on the memorial wall of fallen truck drivers in a ceremony today. Bull's family was there for the service. His wife says she's walking away feeling supported.
Even though we're competitors and have competitive businesses and have to, fight the battle out on the road, we all come together as one so that we can support each other in times like this.
The family hopes to raise awareness about the law's slow down, move over, which requires drivers to change lanes away from any emergency vehicle and slow down when passing. Hundreds of bikers rallied in Killeen today for the 7th annual Ride for Wreaths. The Wreaths for Vets organization places a wreath on every grave at the Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery each year, and as more soldiers are buried, more wreaths are needed. Organizers say they need to buy 1,500 more this holiday season. Today they raised that money through sign-up fees and donations. After arriving at the cemetery, the riders held a short service in honor of our fallen soldiers. Actor Gary Sinise came out to thank the riders for their efforts.
I think the least we can do as Americans is to stand behind them and support them with everything we have.
It's also for the community and the nation to say thank you and honor, and always remember that we have this wonderful life in America because of these soldiers.
The Wreaths for Vets organization will plan to lay close to 9,000 wreaths at the cemetery this November. Hundreds of people took to the streets overnight in St. Louis to protest the acquittal of a white police officer in the shooting death of a black man. At least 10 officers injured, dozens of marchers under arrest. NBC's Blake McCoy has the latest.
Overnight, protesters turned violent in St. Louis, where demonstrators converged on the mayor's house, throwing rocks at windows, police fighting back with tear gas.
Orders to disperse were given numerous times. Tear gas was deployed after officers were assaulted with bricks and bottles.
Earlier in the day, protesters damaged a police car, smashing in the front window. It followed the acquittal of former St. Louis police officer Jason Stockley in the 2011 shooting death of Anthony Lamar Smith.
You don't get that right to kill an innocent person. You just don't get that right.
During a 2011 police chase, dash cam video captures the officer say he's going to kill Smith, a suspected drug dealer.
I don't recall saying it, but I never denied it. I can tell you with absolute certainty that there was no plan to murder Anthony Smith.
Stockley claimed when the chase ended, he saw Smith reach for a gun and shot him. Only the officer's DNA was found on a gun in the car, leading to allegations that it was planted. The judge Friday, in acquitting the officer, wrote, "This court in conscience cannot say that the state has proven every element of murder beyond a reasonable doubt."
You have to make decisions.
This morning, in a new interview with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Stockley maintains he acted in self-defense and says he's pleased with the verdict.
It feels like a burden is lifted, but the burden of having to kill someone never really lifts.
That was Blake McCoy reporting. The city is bracing for even more protests tonight. An 18-year-old man was arrested this morning in connection with Friday's terror attack on a London Underground train for which ISIS has claimed responsibility. Following the arrest, police searched a home in a London suburb and evacuated neighbors as a precaution. Police taped off the area during the raid. So far, no other arrests have been made. Well, still ahead on Channel 6 News Weekend Edition, hundreds turn out to walk and find a cure for MS.
And your forecast up right after the break.
Welcome back. Hundreds of Central Texans gathered this morning to walk for a cure for MS. The walk took place at Carl Levens Park in Harker Heights around 9 a.m. People young and old gathered for the event. They enjoyed food, music, stories of survival, and took a moment to remember those lost. Deanna Stansberry with the National MS Society says raising awareness is key.
And one of the things that's so important is a lot of people think when they get diagnosed with this disease that they're all alone, and there's nobody like them. Nobody has this disease. So having events like this, people can come together, they can talk to others.
For ways to get involved, visit our website. That's kcentv.com. And we'll be right back with a final check of your forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back. Well, let's get a final check of the weather. Phil, what do you got for us?
Got more summer coming up. We're going to be looking at these numbers that are running low and close to middle 90s across the area. A few more days, then just a gradual cool down, and we're going to try to get those temperatures and humidity down a little bit next Friday and Saturday for when Jessica's out covering the sports. We try to do it. Not much incentive for precipitation, and we do get into official fall as we get to the end of next week. So changes are coming.
Ready for those temperatures to cool down a little bit. At least it's not in the hundreds for our Friday night football, and hopefully it'll be a little nice. Baylor kicks off against Oklahoma at McLean on Saturday at 5:30. Hopefully it won't be too hot out there.
They're going to need some good weather if nothing else.
Exactly, they
looking
will.
forward to bringing out my sweaters. Like, I'm ready to bring out all my sweaters.
Me too.
Is that just me? Well, that does it for us here at Channel 6 News Weekend Edition. We hope you have a great night, and we'll be right back here tonight at 10.
Web and on mobile. Channel 6 News. Start here. Expect more.